If you keep trying to please everyone, you'll slowly lose yourself. Nice guys finish last because they don't put themselves first. And in this video, I want to help you command that respect. So that way you can stop people pleasing, you could stop feeling emotionally tired after a long day of work, and get the respect that you deserve. I'm Wesley, an executive assistant and executive coach, and I help professionals take back control of their time so they can have the life they want, spend it with the people they love, and do the things that they enjoy doing. So if you ever feel emotionally drained after a long day of work, it's because you're doing too much to please everyone. And I want to share how you can stop being pushed over and walked on in this video. So the first principle I have is be your own advocate. One of my friends, he worked at a consulting firm in New York City. He was a DEI consultant and he was looking at the statistics at this firm. He has found that there's one certain population that does not get promoted enough, and that was Asian women. And it was because Asian women oftentimes did not stand up for themselves. So I can relate just as an Asian man that in the Eastern culture, we're quite collectivist. We're taught to not talk back to our elders. And when we do talk back, it's such a huge sign of disrespect, and we end up not speaking. We accept whatever is thrown at us. So in the corporate world, when typically Asian females, they feel pressured to not speak up. And I know for me, I had to start speaking up on my own. I had to advocate for myself to be able to ask for the specific role that I wanted, because there's no one else that's going to speak up for yourself than you. You know your day in, your day out. You know what you've done. You know what you slacked off on. And as much as your manager works closely with you, they're not watching over your shoulder every single day with everything that's going on. When it comes for your annual review or whatever, you want to brag on yourself. You want to document everything, showcase that you did the job. The reason that you're feeling drained isn't because you're doing too much. It's because you're pretending to be someone you're not. And when you're being walked over, when you're letting people decide your own actions, that's when you feel emotionally drained. So think to yourself that, am I making this decision for me? Or is it someone that I really want to benefit? Or am I simply trying to impress the other person? Because if you're trying to impress the other person, you can't do that. You only have so much bandwidth to be able to support someone in that way. And this process is what Alex Hormozi calls evidence stacking. So when you advocate for yourself, write it down. When you start seeing the proof that your confidence is growing, that you're able to speak up for yourself, write it down so that way the next time that doubt creeps in, you're able to look back at what you've done so far. You've grown such a big list of evidence that it proves that you've done in the past and you could do it again. So evidence stacking is a great way for you to keep your confidence up, stop this doubt, stop people pleasing everyone. Principle number 2 is to build a backbone. So I had a direct report and he was in charge of the coffee machines. One time, our VP of operations, he was walking around and asked him a question like, hey, do you know who runs the coffee machines? And my direct report was like, I think it's me. I'll ask Wesley though. And so the VP of ops comes up to me saying, hey, Wesley, why doesn't he know that he's responsible for the coffee machines? And I'm like, well, he should be the one doing it. Let me give him a talk. So I talked with him and it turns out that he was just walked on. He crumbled under pressure and folded and wanted to be safe by doing the maybe part. But he didn't own up to his responsibilities. And that's what I want to talk about, is building a backbone. Your language is what shapes you. Language is how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. So to build the backbone is start by creating assertive language. When you hedge your statements, like for example, apologizing too much, it dumbs down the quality of your actual apologies. So if you say, I'm sorry to bother you, in reality, most of the times, you're not really bothering anyone. You're standing in line at a coffee shop or you're by the water cooler just chit-chatting. It's okay to break the awkward silence and talk to people. But if they're in the middle of actually doing something, like if you're at the gym and they're doing a back squat and you say, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, you actually are bothering them. So context matters. but it's also using this assertive language to build yourself up. And I know for me, when I started using assertive language, for example, I don't say the phrase, "May I ask you a question?" anymore, because that in of itself is a question. From then on, I ask the question directly, like, "That's a cool shirt. Where did you get it from?" So I skip all the willy-nilly BS stuff and be as assertive and direct as I can be. And with that, it helps people see and perceive that I know what I want. And once I start using this language, I can start seeing what I really want. And that's going to help people not walk over me. It's by reinforcing this sense of confidence in myself, because I have a stronger self-perception of who I am because of how I speak of myself now. Instead of dumbing myself down, I know who I am, I know my worth, and same goes for you. Principle number 3 I have is setting strong boundaries. So there was a time when I would answer emails after coming home from work. So the reason I would do that is because I interact with Asia a lot, and 5 p.m. our time is about 8 a.m. their time. I was thinking to myself, I may as well just knock these emails out. Since I see them, I can answer them right away. However, I was indirectly training my employees from Asia that I was accessible at this certain time. And that was something I didn't like, because I valued my work-life balance. I wanted to separate my work and my personal life. However, because I was answering emails outside of my work hours, my normal work hours, I was training other people that it's okay to contact me at this time, when in reality, it's not. So the reason behind that is because I never set clear boundaries with my work. And weak boundaries invite disrespect and burnout. Strong boundaries set clear expectations. Clarity is kindness. So when you are clear, and people will respect your boundaries. So once I stopped answering my work emails at night, people understood, and it turns out that whatever they were asking for, it typically resolved itself overnight. Setting strong boundaries doesn't just protect your time, it also protects your emotional well-being. So it filters out toxic expectations and strengthens healthy relationships, both at work and in your personal life. So once you start respecting your own limits, others will too. And principle number 4 is to become authentically you. Last summer, I had the opportunity to be coached by one of my favorite YouTubers, Captain Sinbad. And it was such an amazing experience because I looked up to him. He's an Indian man, and he was doing all these cool things like riding motorcycles, piloting planes, and skydiving. He was super cool. And talking to him in person throughout those coaching calls was awesome too. So his specialty was to help people become authentically themselves on camera. And for you, you don't have to be on camera, but you do have to be authentically yourself. And the reason why most people feel drained throughout the workday is because they lose themselves throughout the process. There's a lot of code switching that goes on, a lot of putting on masks. However, when you let it all down, that's when you can truly feel free. There's a toxic positivity that goes on nowadays of, oh, you always got to be happy. How's your day going? Oh, it's going so well. And that's just BS. Once I've learned that I can fully express that if I'm not having a bad day, I will say it out loud. And other people are understanding, like, oh, shoot, like, I'm so sorry to hear that. They do become sympathetic, and I'm not looking for sympathy, but I am looking for connection. And revealing how you truly feel is how others can connect with you deeply. And you don't have to waste emotional energy pretending to be someone you're not. So we all wear different masks at work and through church, for example, for me. But it's when I become authentically myself that I can say whatever I want within the context, in the appropriate context, that I feel truly myself. There's a weight lifted off my shoulders, and I can be myself. And that's my last tip for you, is to be yourself. As cliche as it sounds, it's such a huge weight off your shoulders not to pretend to be someone else. So being nice isn't the goal, but being authentic is. Being respected and happy and setting clear boundaries is what's going to help you have these healthy relationships. People pleasing keeps you in a cycle of exhaustion, and breaking free from it will give you confidence and real connections. So thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in learning more about confidence, you can click here to view my latest video about it. So thank you so much. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. Being authentic is being respected and happy, and setting clear boundaries is what's going to help you have these healthy relationships. People pleasing keeps you in a cycle of exhaustion, and breaking free from it will give you confidence and real connections. So thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in learning more about confidence, you can click here to view my latest video about it. So thank you so much. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.